So if you could both just tell us who you are.
My name's Ron Meek. Originally from Granville Street in Middlesbrough, or just off Cannon Street. What else do you need to know? 75 years old, born in 1941.
I'm Jack Allen. I lived in 11 Childers Street. I'm born in 1935, 81 years of age. So I lived in Cannon Street all up till 23. I was 23-year-old when we moved.
Yeah, I moved in 1958, and just before the demolition was taking place.
One of the main reasons I'm here is we have some photographs. Childers Street won the Middlesbrough Council ran a Best Street competition for the Queen's coronation, June 1953, and Childers Street came first in that. I brought photographs of the original photographs of the people concerned in Childers Street. I did inquire 2 years ago where the original cupboard went to, and I was told it was still in Dormant Museum. I would have loved it to be returned to basically St Columba's Church, which is the only part of original Cannon Street that's left. But I don't know what's happened to it. I've been told it's in safe storage.
So you were both kind of young adults when you moved out?
I was 23, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be 17, 18. Yeah.
Like I said, the memories, basically of St Columba's Church, which was the focal point of the area as it was, especially with the Father Hooper, the priest. And the church then was, everything was going on, guides, brownies, whatever you wish. I was part of the choir from 1940 to about 49. Very sad when Cannon Street, they decided to demolish it all and not replace it. And Father Hooper, he had a campaign going at the time to knock the houses down and rebuild and replace like that, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And it was just a great community spirit. You were taught respect by your parents, which is something they did. It just doesn't happen. I've no quibbles about the youth of today, but you know, certainly today is not the world I was brought up in, I'm afraid to say.
What's your strongest memory of the place?
Oh, mine is the camaraderie of the people around you, really.
I agree with that.
You know, you could always leave your door open. You never used to lock it. You know, that was just the done thing, really. That it was your own personal property and nobody invaded it. You know, you could. I remember once leaving a bike. I went to the paper shop on the bike and came out with that dandy in the bean or whatever it might be. Forgot all about the bike and went to school for the day and come back in the evening, went to go out for a ride on the bike and wasn't there, and it was still outside the paper shop. Now, that wouldn't happen today, I don't think. I would like I'd have a chance of getting it back again. But yeah, there it was still there.
Do you think there was much crime in the area?
No.
No.
It's a fallacy. Yeah. I was just telling a gentleman out there, there's the volunteer pub was on the corner of Denmark Street and Cannon Street, and it was the main route into the steelworks. And a lot of men those days either walked or they went on bikes to work. And they come back off maybe the total 10 shift or they're going on a night shift, and they would pop the bikes outside the volunteer for 10 minutes while they went and had a drink. There could have been upwards of 20 bikes stood outside with pumps, lamps on. He wouldn't have dared steal one. Because first and foremost, your father or your parents would have give you what for, and they took you back. But them bikes were there, never touched. And as Ron said, the camaraderie of the place, there's a lot of misconception that it was a rough area. That's false. It was a poor area, but the people were I don't know. I lived in a street of 20 people, 20 houses. Everyone I know worked. And you had to have respect for your elders. You were taught that. I wouldn't have dared call my father's friend by the first name. It would be Mr. or Mrs. And that still applies today. It's just something different. I don't know. I regret, like I say to people, this is not the world I grew up in. It isn't.
So it does have a reputation for being a bit of a rough area.
That was
It's described as infamous, isn't it? In the literature that you put out about today, it's described as infamous. But it's not really.
No.
I don't think so.
I'd moved out the area when the so-called Cannon Street riots were taking place. And I think it was blown a bit out of all proportion. I do really. I'd never seen any violence in my life. Talk about people stealing. No. Not in my experience. No, people didn't steal. We were actually, we had a key to the front door which we'd never used. We used a sheet of cardboard and we had what they called a snack. That's how my mum and dad used to leave the house like that. Never locked with a key. Never locked.
Or if it was locked, it was on a string behind the letterbox.
It was on the string behind the letterbox, yeah. If you were going to school. But like I say, we had a piece of cardboard, my sister and I.
So you could get back in.
And we just used to use it, open the door and open the stack. And we were in, never locked. Funny. The local bobby was called the Commando, PC Kendrew, and they know him quite well. Your biggest crime then was playing football in the street, getting caught playing football. And if he did, he would literally twist your ear. And next time you're going to court. But basically that's all he would do. He'd get all you, he'd really hurt you. But he was, everybody was frightened of him, afraid. You know, if you seen him coming, you're playing football, ball up and run.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Okay. Stayed well clear of the bobbies, even if you hadn't done anything wrong.
Stay well clear, yeah. Stay well clear. Yeah. He was the only one I knew, PC Kendall, who was, as I say, locally known as the Commando.
So if you weren't playing football in the streets, was there anywhere else you could go and play?
You had to go to the Albert Park. Or you could go to the Rec near Fowler Street. There was a big open common, which was called the Rec. You could go there and play. Well, mostly you played in the street. Same as girls did, they played in the street. Made swings out of rope round lampposts. Everything was played in the street. Everything. You know, there's no, youth clubs. I was a member of Joe Walton's, which was a local youth club, still going today, I believe. But basically, all your games are played in the street, yeah, in your own street.
And Joe Walton's, was that in that area?
I believe at the time it was over what we call the border. I'm not quite sure. There was two boys clubs. One was Joe Walton's and the other one was the Newport Boys Club, which I believe was on the corner of Parliament Street. But they were the only youth clubs at the time, boys clubs that were about, yeah.
What kind of thing would you do there?
They'd go table tennis, there'd be no such thing. It's like the church. The church hall was always open for brownies, guides and stuff like that. The church hall they'd have whist drives. I don't know if people know what whist drives are today. But a thing like that with the church, it was, I don't know, it was just a great community. I'm pleased that somebody's trying to keep it going. The memory of it going anyway.
So where did you move when you left that area?
Oh, I moved to Thorntree, College Road on the Thorntree estate. For a few years until I got married, then moved away from there.
My mum and dad moved to Pollister Park, but by then I'd married and I'd moved elsewhere into the town. But mother and father never ever settled. Quite, just, I don't know, just the area they wanted. Strange to them. Just strange.
It was an experience really, because where we used to live, there was certainly wasn't a bathroom. Bath used to be a tin bath that was hung in the yard outside, and we used to bring it in once a week, so I'll have a bath each. There was only cold water, no hot water taps.
Hot water, no.
If you wanted hot water, you had to put the boiler on. They used to do the washing in to boil up water to have a bath. As far as I remember, though, we only had one electric light as well. We still had gas lamps in the upstairs rooms.
We had gas till 1948 when they put the electricity in. But my mum and dad, when they moved, quite strange little story. They went into Pallister Park, and my dad, there was outhouses then. And my dad asked my mother, "Where's the toilet?" She said, "It's upstairs in the bathroom." And his reply was, "That's so unhygienic."
Yes, our toilet was outside in the yard as well. Yeah. Yes, yeah.
So how many people lived in your houses?
In our house, mum, dad, and my sister, there was 4 of us. We had 2 up and 2 down.
And 4 in ours as well. That was downstairs. There was just a living room and a kitchen. And upstairs there was a large bedroom and a very small bedroom, very small.
My grandmother lived off us. She lived in 16 Childer Street, and she actually had 13 children in a 2 up and 2 down. During the war, when my dad was in the army, my mum was, like all women those days, had to go and work in the local steelworks. So how do you do it? I was 4-year-old, my sister was 2. So we moved in with my gran. My mum's eldest sister, exactly the same circumstances, they moved in. So there was 10 of us living in a 2 up and 2 down. We survived, we're still here.
Yeah. Did you feel as if you were well off at the time, or did you like you were?
I think we were probably too young to realise, actually.
Never felt deprived.
No. We didn't have the things that we have today, like televisions. I can't remember. We did have a television.
1953.
Black and white television. From Reedy Fusion. Remember Reedy Fusion?
Reedy Fusion, yeah. It was cable.
They were the cable network people.
Cable people, yeah. It was, but people didn't, I don't know. Funny, my grandchildren were asking me just a few months back, what did you use for Christmas? Used to make what you call a clippy mat, and all the family would work on it. And said float the chicken. They didn't know what floating the chicken was. A chicken 10 days used to come feathers on everything, so everybody used to float the chicken. It was a family thing. It was the family were together. You was with your own family and you felt comfortable, but you never felt deprived. Never. I didn't. I think my sister and I, just after the war, had a better life than Prince Charles and Princess Anne did, to be quite honest with you. We were well looked after, well fed, well clothed. All are happy memories.
Why do you think it is that people remember that area with such pride and nostalgia?
I would say the friendliness of the people. There was an atmosphere. Like I say, it annoys me at times when I hear people say it's a rough area. It just really does annoy me. I lived there for 23 years.
It was just a community on its own, really.
It was, yeah.
It wasn't just a street, it was a community.
A community, yes. Community. Wherever you went. It's hard to describe in today's terms. Really hard. But it's a thing I would not have wanted to miss. My grandchildren, when I say to them, I would go back and live there tomorrow, and I would, literally would. But they say, well, it's all changed, yes, maybe so. But I still look on the place with affection. I mean, Ron and I still go to members of St. Columba's Church.
So you've kept in touch with people since you left the area?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I'm in touch with. There's 2 people on the photograph I brought in who were adults at the time. They're both now approaching their 90s. I see them once every 2 or 3 months, and various other people you bump into, but most of the people have passed on, you know. But it's strange when somebody who you know has passed away at the funeral, and you go to the funerals and you're surprised how many people you see have read it and turn up. They turn up strangers. I have met people here today who's I knew would be here, or I hoped would be here, yes.
If you had the chance to move back as it was, would you rather take the way that it is now, or would you rather move there and live the way that it was then?
I'd go back tomorrow in the same way.
Would you? I don't think I could.
I would. I'm being genuine. I have a nice house now, a nice area. I just, maybe that's nostalgic, I don't know. Nostalgic. Yeah, I just miss it so much.
You still like the area, you know. You can, if you walk up and down, you can recognise things. You know, it's not the same by any means, but you can pick out things that you remember from years ago.
Thing I like to say, I live in a street of 20 houses. I knew everybody. I've lived where I am now for 23 years. I know 4 people to speak to.
And would you literally know everybody on the street? Or
I could name you everybody that lived in every house, yes. Literally, yeah. Because that was as it was. That was, you know, you just knew them, knew everyone, from the tots to the elderly people, yeah. You knew people round about. I mean, I must have passed where Ron lived 10 times a day. Didn't know Ron at the time. Didn't know Ron at the time. But I must have passed their house, like I say, half a dozen times a day. But you knew the people in the vicinity of where I lived in Childer Street. Knew everyone in Childer Street, Eve Street. But that's what, you know, that's what I miss.
So you wouldn't really get away with much then, I would imagine, if everybody knew what was going on.
No. Well, there was nothing to get away with, really. It's, you know, no. Everybody knew what was happening, yes. Yeah. It's like when Childer Street, when they decorated the street for the anniversary, everybody worked in. There was a lad in the street, he was a joiner, he erected all the trellises. My Aunt Bess, my mum's younger sister, she was crippled from birth. She must have made 2,000 paper flowers to put round. And on the day of the judging, Peter Owen, when there was a local fruiter, they got in his lorry and they went out to the mowers and they collected fern at 6 o'clock in the morning so they could bring it down so it would be fresh. That was the sort of things they did. You know. They're very proud that they won, you know. Maybe only mine, I think, to some people. All the effort of maybe a year's work had gone into it. Yeah.
It's funny, my Auntie Florrie used to tell a story about the night the war broke out. And she said there was a big fight on Cannon Street. She said the war broke out on Cannon Street. I can't find anybody else that remembers the story.
Auntie Florrie, that was my mother's name.
Really?
My mother's name, yeah.
I was just talking to a lady there, actually, and I showed her a photo of my grandmother. And I mentioned that my grandmother worked for Olive Seed, the undertaker. She said that was my great aunt, one of the ladies out here. Yeah, my grandmother worked for her for 10, 15 years. Yeah.
It is amazing, that Facebook page as well.
Oh, yeah.
So many people knew each other, you know, somebody's mum will know somebody else's mum.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's, I don't know. It's like somebody wrote a book once, and my grandson bought me it. I think it was Cannon Street, Lest We Forget. And I read it, and he said, "What did you think?" I said, "Oh, it was very nice, but the people who wrote it had never lived there. They'd heard stories." That was just my feeling of it.
Why do you think that?
I had a photograph of, they call it the Cannon Street Barra Boys, I think it was. And one of the Cannon Street Barra Boys was a boy who was in the class under me at school. Yours wouldn't be what I would call the originals of the Honeymans, the Masons, the Millers. That was just my impression. That people hear stories. It was like a guy out there was just talking about Brood in the War. There's supposedly a guy going around called Sancho Sammy. It was just a scaremongering thing. People, it's just a fallacy. You know. But people grew on the story, and it was.
What was Sancho Sammy then?
A guy, he was supposed to be a guy who could, he had sun shoes, that's why they call him Sancho Sammy. He's supposed to be a guy who could leap over a yard wall and snatch a child. And it was just something to keep children indoors at night. But I was pleased when this guy out there mentioned it, because we'd also heard of it. But it's just one of those stories that were going on.
One of the stories that was going around at the time.
During the war, yeah. During the war, yes, yeah. Watch out. When you went out at night, what Sancho Sammy's about. It was to make you aware, I think, because there was no lights. You know, everything was in darkness. Yeah, strange.